We need to lose everything to gain everything, to gain different way of life sometimes. I experienced that when you come out of the darkness, come out of the fall, you always come out with advantages. You become a healer, you become knowledgeable. You are somebody more than before.
You are listening to The Dr. Haley Show, the podcast dedicated to helping you optimize your health. Each episode, there will be an interview or a message to help you discover better health. We will be featuring health radicals on the show to bring new ideas to the table, as well as doubling down on key fundamentals to support you living your best life. Your host is no other than the founder of Haley Nutrition, Dr. Michael Haley.
This is the Dr. Haley Show podcast. I'm Dr. Michael Haley, your show host. And what if you could have better physical performance and less pain 10 years from now? How would you like to have more strength and flexibility in your 70s than you did when you were in your 30s? Jerzy Gregorek is a 4-time world weightlifting champion and co-creator, along with his wife, also a world champion, of the Happy Body program, a program that combines mindful exercise, nutrition, and emotional eating intelligence. Jerzy, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Michael. It's great to be here.
I did a little bit of digging about you, and just now I only read a credential. I don't know, what would you call it? An accomplishment that's related to what we do here at the Dr. Haley Show. It's about health and fitness, but you actually have some greater accomplishments than just setting world records in powerlifting. I understand that there was a country that awarded you some medals for doing something great. Can you tell me about that?
I was 27 and a half, and I was a student at the Fire Protection Academy in Warsaw. That was 81, Solidarity. And the government wanted to use fire department against demonstrations, and particularly wanted to color the water, spray on demonstrants, and arrest them later. So we said no. We went on a strike. I was one of the leaders. And then what happened after that? 10 days after negotiations, they took us out by coming with helicopters, tanks, and everything else. And then they asked me to, sign allegiance to the new way. Well, I rejected. I was underground Solidarity for about 4 years, and my mentor and friend was captured and tortured and murdered, and then after
Oh,
that,
wow.
shortly I left the country. So that in a short what happened there. But in 2018, I was invited back to Poland to receive medals and honors. And one time I was receiving this cross for fighting for freedom of Poland. And the president of Poland was giving me this medal and said, I was 9 years old when you were fighting for the Poland I am living right now. And I'm very grateful to you that you did what you did. And thank you so much.
That's awesome. What felt better,
Yeah.
that moment or winning a world powerlifting medal?
Well, it's hard to compare, right? The first time that I won the world championship, it was very emotional.
I bet.
But receiving the cross was probably a bigger thing. And it's like it made me really happy that Poland became, a free country, and I was the part of the fight for that Poland that is today. I'm so proud of
Yeah.
Polish people and myself that we arrive where we are with Poland today. It's I'm really I'm happy about that, what's going on, and I'm proud of it.
Now you can safely visit. Back then you couldn't.
Yes, after 89 we could, because 89 flipped. So when I was leaving Poland in 85, I was leaving Poland and could never come back. But 89 happened, Solidarity won the votes, and then the whole world flipped, and Berlin Wall collapsed.
Mm.
That was amazing. You couldn't really predict such a thing, 4 years before. It was just like, wow, what happened?
Hmm. Hmm, hmm, hmm. I read that you rebuilt your life through persistence, creativity, and discipline. And that reminds me of what I call power words that were spoken into my life at a young age. When I was about 7 years old, and I went with my father on a business trip. I remember this guy, someone he was doing business with, pulled me aside, looked at me in my eyes, and said, "Persistence will get you anything you want." And when I read that about you, through persistence, creativity, and discipline, it reminded me of that time. So those were power words that were spoken into my life that I had used and applied to other areas of my life. I'm wondering if you ever had an experience like that where someone spoke power words into your life and that kind of maybe formed who you were when you were fighting for Poland and who you are even today to this day.
I had a different father. So my father was telling me that going to high school is not up to me. It's not for me because we were not born to go to high school and go to college. You need to go and become the locksmith and do that. So that's my father. So when I went to high school, after 2 months, I fell into darkness, became alcoholic until 18. And angels came into my life, saved me out of that. That is a story for that. And after that, I went to Olympic weightlifting, became the fireman. And fireman, that was the first message that I received, a great feeling inside. I was going to my first fire, and the first time I felt good. I felt good that I was a fireman and somebody is waiting for me to save somebody, rescue somebody. And that's the feeling that I had first time in my life. And I
Mm,
like the feeling. So in my whole life, I pursued that feeling, that helping people, rescuing people, and have that feeling. But when I was 27 and a half, when the strike happened, then attracted a lot of people, solidarity people, and people that uh, had something what I've never seen and thought it was a fake. It was unconditional love. There were people in solidarity that loved people, and that's it. They just loved people, and I was uh, somehow uh, became in a very small circle with these people. I became some kind of a friend with Weichert and Popiełuszko and Severin Jaworski, and uh, these people shifted completely my way of life. That means that I dropped my fakeness and my disbelief that there are good people in the world. And that affected my therapy that I did with people in Stockholm and therapy that I did over my whole life. I began loving people and people, like as people. And if I didn't meet these people, if I didn't lose everything to gain everything, I would never be affected by this kind and I don't know who I would be today.
yeah. So it sounds like yours wasn't so much power words, but like a power experience.
Yes, not so much mental, more emotional experiences that the experiences of loss that flip me into a different way of living. It could be that we need to lose everything to gain everything, to gain different way of life sometimes. I experienced that when you come out of the darkness, come out of the fall, you always come out with advantages. You become a healer, you become knowledgeable, you are somebody more than before. It's just amazing. I have clients who are addicts, and it's a lot of easier for me to talk to them and to inspire them, to motivate them, and help them to come out of it. Why? Because I was an addict. I was that person, and I lost everything. So, you know.
Yeah, I like to say what the devil meant for bad, God uses for good. And life is like that. It works that way. You know, we have these experiences, we have tough things happen to us, and if we use them to our advantage, good things happen. What were your world record powerlifting accomplishments?
It's Olympic weightlifting. So I competed in Poland in Olympic weightlifting, got injured when I was 23 and almost paralyzed. My L5 moved forward and took me many, many years to come out of it. Mostly I used all the techniques to regain flexibility and strength and build up the
Yeah.
body. And after 35, returned to master division and built up the system and started competing in 94 or 5. And the first championship that I won, world championship, it was in Poland actually, world championship in Poland in 97. And being in Poland, having Polish coaches, and being an American in Poland, it was crazy. But it was wonderful, you know. Polish embraced me there. Aniela won also the world championship. They call us golden couple. And the coaches that coached me before, they embraced me with whatever I was. I was American or I was Polish. It really didn't matter for them. So weightlifting was above nationality, I would say. Uh, but we know I was standing and receiving in Poland the medal, the American anthem was playing, and I had my hand on my heart, which is like, wow, that was the moment.
I could imagine. Wow. Exciting. Do you feel like you had secrets to the success, things that maybe you used to help other people gain strength and flexibility? Were you doing something different than what everyone else was doing to get strong?
You know, I was underdog in life, so I was weak, I was short, so bigger boys would beat the shit out of me. So, you know, like
You
he
say you
never
were
went
highly
to school.
motivated.
So I got motivated, became a weightlifter. So it was not like I kind of was underdog all the time, so I was reaching for something. But weightlifting eventually developed certain strong base, what it means to be flexible, to be strong, to be fast. And that base, when I started coaching people in Burbank in Power Stores in 87, that base was the guidance. And so when people came to the gym and tried to lose weight or gain strength or get rid of pains or become more attractive, I didn't follow that. I follow the power. And that was the guidance, you know. And when I followed the power, people became flexible, became strong, became leaner, became more attractive. Everything was happening. So that was the guidelines and the pursuit. The goal was clear, more power. And people loved that. People love to become more powerful, to become more flexible and easier in their life. And
When you
then,
say power, are you talking about strength?
yeah, strength and speed.
Because I
So
would,
it's a
okay.
connection how fast we do things, not really that we are strong, because you
Oh,
can be strong but not fast like a power lifter. But
mhm.
Olympic weightlifters are strong and fast. You imagine pole vaulter is really fast running and doing the pole vaulting. The
Okay.
same sprinters, jumpers, and throwers, you know, discus or, you know, javelin. It's kind of the same. All track and field is power, power, power. And the only time to act is only about 5 seconds. And the 5 seconds decides about the manifestation of records and whatever it is. So athletes, they are strong, but they're also fast.
Right.
And
But
that's the nervous system.
how does that
Yes.
translate to flexibility? Or is that
Well,
separate?
flexibility is the primer thing because flexibility is needed for it. So flexibility is trained, Flexibility is also improving while doing the skills. Without the flexibility, can be injury, can be problems, and so on. Flexibility is not the part of the power; is the ability for the body to just to move, to be mobile. But the strength and speed really decides about quality. But without the flexibility, you can be injured and be out of the sport for 3 months or 4 months. Without recovery, you can be tired, overtrained. So there are a lot of elements waiting for you not to be powerful and to break. So it's, you have to be smart and wise. So you have to have mentors and coaches. It's not so like you decide and you do. It's a compound interest here. A question, hard choices and skills and capabilities.
You enjoying the show thus far? One of the many health secrets that we have covered on the show is all around aloe vera, specifically drinking raw aloe vera. Our aloe vera has helped our customers effectively heal their gut, increase their intestine health, lower inflammation in the body, eliminate and/or decrease acid reflux, have glowing skin and hair, and so much more. Now, as a frequent member of our audience, you will be exposed to exclusive specials and coupon codes for the awesome products manufactured by Haley Nutrition. That's right, for simply being awesome and tuning in. You can get a mini discount to help you optimize and better your health. To see how we can help and support you on your health journey, tune into the episodes and listen for coupon codes that you can use at www.haleynutrition.com before you make your orders of raw aloe vera. Once again, it's www.haleynutrition.com. Now, back to the show.
I'm wondering how something relates to power that I've seen in the gym lately, and they're lifting weights differently than when I grew up lifting weights. And as an example, I just went back to the gym, and this is how I know this. I took years off, and I just started going back and training again. On the bench press, I see everyone doing half presses. They're only coming down halfway. Now, from my perspective, when you go down all the way, you kind of take advantage of something called the stretch reflex. And I'm wondering what seems to be better when it comes to training for power. Would it be the half repetition where you don't go down all the way, or would it be where you use the full range of motion?
First of all, the bench press is not a power movement. So it's a strength movement. So it develops only strength, not speed. So this movement also is a supporting exercise to support power, like snatch and clean and jerk. And that supporting exercise can be done with different range of motion. You can do full motion, half motion, quarter motion. It's the same like squat, quarter squat, half squat, full squat. All of them, they are trained by weightlifters, right? So, but they have different purpose and different strain on joints and different strain of and gaining feeling to deal with the weight. So sometimes we do the quarter or half of it to gain more weight on the bar, so you can finish the bar, finish the movement, and not start it. So yeah, that has its purpose.
Okay. Now, I've seen something kind of interesting on your YouTube channel. And I'm not familiar with the terms. What's it called when you bring the bar up to here and then
Snatch.
press the snatch?
Yeah, it's like a one power movement up, really.
Oh,
When
okay.
you throw and you catch it. Yeah.
Okay, so the snatch is referring to catching it over your head
Yes.
as opposed to
From the
stopping here and
ground.
then.
Yeah.
Yes.
From if you stop here and you jerk it, then it's a clean and jerk.
Okay. Well,
So one move up.
I have
Mhm.
never seen anyone accomplish something like that on a balance board. What is that
Well,
thing?
yeah,
Kind of
that is fun. That is like, but I have a lot of surfers, skiers, skateboarders, all those that balance for them is extremely important,
hmm
and that's what I do. I put them on the balancing boards, different kind, to create micro progression. Some boards are dangerous, some boards are quick and very fast to react. So I love the boards. That's a huge challenge because there are a lot of elements when you do the snatch on the balancing board. Is that the body is quicker than the mind. So when you do it, the body is adapting everything. You don't do anything. It's just amazing things. Like the mind is shut off and the body is doing the stuff. So you don't know when you do the snatch where you arrive, to the left, to the right, to the forward and back, and the body is adjusting everything to balance everything so you can actually lift and perform. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, in that short, one of the things I notice is, you got it over your head nice and good, and you're on a piece of wood that's essentially rolling back and forth on a big pipe. But now, in the very end, and this is the problem with shorts, they're not long. I don't know what happened at the end of that. I saw you go down and the board hit on one side, and that's where the video got cut off. Was there a
Oh, it's
save?
just step off. I step off.
You
So,
stepped off.
like
Okay.
you step on, like you put the one foot and the other one, and you start balancing. When you finish, you go step off and you step down.
Okay.
So,
So there was a
yeah,
safe ending
that's
there.
what happens.
I was just making sure it was a safe, good ending. It looked dangerous.
Yes.
I don't know if I would attempt that without weights in my hands, let alone try to put them over my head like that.
No, it takes time. So balancing boards are dangerous. You can slam to the floor very quickly. If something is wrong, then it's like boom, very fast. So and there's no way that you can save yourself. It's just once something is wrong, you're on the ground and very quickly. And there are different boards that I teach to start, just only small boards that you stay on. There is no rolling thing under. And so I developed microprogression to teach people and put them up and then control, help them to find the balance. But it's really fast. It's very fascinating response of the body to train the nervous system and not to get the delay reflexes in life when you trip and you fall, because this delay reflexes come because people don't train power, don't train speed. They can be strong, but strong is not enough. When you trip, strength is not going to save you. It's the speed is going to save you. You have to be quick in order to save. And that's training speed when we get older is crucial. It could be even because it's the nervous system and communication between the brain and the body. It could be even, who knows how that relates to dementia and other stuff, that because the brain slows down, the brain also shrinks. So in 1960 was this doctor who did the research about the body going through the aging process, and then found out that actually the body shrinks inside. The brain shrinks, lungs shrink, heart shrinks, the digestive system, everything shrinks. And he called it senile atrophy.
Hmm.
And people didn't like the senile atrophy. He came back in 1980, replaced it by sarcopenia. Sarcopenia is just the muscle loss, but he lost all the shrinking. So if people think about that, the brain shrinks after about 35, then it is time to do the power. It is time to run 40 yards, 100 meters, and not marathons, because that
Yeah.
is not going to help you. So, but the speed, the power, the quality of the speed is crucial in life. This is life.
Yeah, I think they should change the name of those diagnoses. What would you call it? Something atrophy? What'd you call it? You
Oh,
mentioned
senile atrophy, sarcopenia.
senile. Okay, senile atrophy. I think it should be called optional senile atrophy
Yeah,
because I
some
think it's
kind of.
optional.
So exactly, but it is optional, and we need a lot of information and a lot of communication between people and experts to deliver the why we would train speed, why we would actually do that, and if I do that the right way to my clients. They understand it. And if they don't, if they know why, they will deliver it. They will train it. They will do what is needed. They will, get the hard choices going. And they are able to do that. The worst thing is that we do not expand the imagination of people to why we need to do whatever it is that would help us to get better. Is it just only, the idea that is good, or it is really necessary when we go through life and looking at aging processes, devastating systems that eventually ends us, right? So, and how to deal with it.
This ties in with one thing you have said: hard choices, easy life, easy choices, hard life. If dementia is optional or shrinking is optional, how does that relate to that phrase, the hard choices, easy life, easy choices, hard life?
Well, hard life is a choice, right? So it is optional too. And a hard choice happens when you become a person that you've never been. So, but better, not worse. So, if you want to get stronger and you becoming stronger, you chose hard choices because it supports the growth. If you evolve in any way that you go to unknown that you've never been, that's what's about. The hard choice is something that happens when we engage compound interest. It is not something that we do on daily basis. If we do on daily basis and we know how to do and we repeat, that's entertainment. That's not really hard choices. We know 2 + 2 is 4, so why to bother to learn this again? So hard choices go to another element, how to learn something more than before. So for me, is like hard choice is like you have $5 and you put into a drawer, and after 40 years you have $72,000. Okay, but if you have 10% interest, you have $1,000,000. So here it is. The hard choice is to really be able to engage that 10% compound interest, because that evolves gains. It is related to improvement. And the 10% is dangerous. And 10% is in a way that you can lose all the money. And so it is not just, 10% that is available. No, it's 10% is comes with coaching, plans, teachers, mentors, and knowing how much really how to deal with it, because you can reach for 20% and easily crash. So that's too fast, could be, right? So it is something that is extremely hard, and that is why we need help. We need help of people who know how to really create such a 10% compound interest.
Supplements can be confusing. Consuming isolated vitamins and minerals can certainly create imbalances. That's why our focus is on consuming nutrient-dense foods and supplementing with concentrated nutrient-dense foods, where the nutrients are present with each other in balance provided by nature. The fastest way I know of improving someone's nutrition is to get them on a concentrated vegetable and fruit supplement. When it comes to dosing, scoops are much more powerful than capsules. An average scoop contains the nutrition of about 40 capsules of a similar product. That's where Aya Green's vegetable and fruit powder comes in. Head over to HaleyNutrition.com and try it now. Don't be surprised if you feel the benefits on the first day. I did. You used the word earlier, microprogression, which if I wanted to understand that, is that the same as baby steps? What is it?
So microprogression for me is the progress that helps to improve. So microprogression, in a way, happens when this 10% compound interest happens as well. So if you progress too fast, you crash. So to visualize microprogression and effect of that, I coached this cerebral palsy boy who came to me. He was 25-year-old, and he was crippled completely and on toes and lethargic. And he knew only one thing, go to toilet or eat or sleep. He couldn't dress himself. He couldn't go to toilet on his own. And he knew only simple words. He knew what 2 plus 2 is, that is 4, but he didn't know what 3 minus 1 is. So here is the boy that I took to the gym first time. I gave him aluminum bar to lift, and he was not able to take this bar off the rack. 15 pounds bar, 25-year-old, right? So I had this wooden bar that I created for 3-year-old, 4-year-old to lift, to learn the snatches. It is 3 pounds bar. So I put it that one and asked him to take it off. And he did. And he presses that bar a couple of times. So I put 5 pounds on each side, and it was 13 pounds. He did that. And then I put aluminum bar back, and he did that. I knew it, that this boy is going to progress. 5 years after, through all the changes and adaptations, he's in community college now. And after about 1 year, he could go to toilet on his own. He could dress himself. And he went online, and he did elementary school. He went high school. And through all the getting stronger and poetry and challenges of the thinking process, slowly this boy evolved. That's the microprogression. See, it's like after 5 years, the parents have the boy that never had. They have the boy that is independent. He goes to school, he takes Uber. It was impossible 5 years ago. So when we think about microprogression in action, that would be the image.
Did you call it muscular dystrophy?
No, cerebral palsy.
Cerebral palsy. Okay. Which
You,
it almost sounds like you found the cure for it.
well, I don't know, really. The documentary was done on the work that I did, and it's waiting now for people to respond to it, to learn the method, how to create the method. I think that we need to do the research or something, what I had done there, and learn from that. I hope that the community will step up and recreate what I actually did. So I hope so.
That's awesome. Well, tell us about the Happy Body program. How does it work? Is it a book? Is it one-on-one in person? Is it coaching over the internet? What is it?
I call it now athletic lifestyle medicine. Of
All
course,
right.
it's the happy body. It is, right? But I call it athletic lifestyle medicine. Why? Because for a long time, I called it lifestyle medicine. Why? Because it is really helping people to heal themselves from inflexibility, stiffness, and pains, and rehabilitate them to a better place in life when it comes to the body posture and speed and strength, flexibility, leanness, body weight. All of it are standards of the happy body. But recently I added athletic. So athletic means that these are the hard choices, and these are the things that connecting the person to the compound interest, this 10%. If we live the life of the 10%, we evolve, we get better. If we don't have 10%, we can heal, but never evolve, never get better, never improve. These three words are really important here. Lifestyle is important because lifestyle, when you comes to the chronic pains and chronic problems in life, they are because of lifestyle. They are not because of injuries or problems that occur accidentally. So you have lifestyle causing the problem. And the solution for that, it has to be also lifestyle that corrects the problem and people start living a different lifestyle, the lifestyle of a robust life or lifestyle of the happy body. So if somebody wants the body to be happy, that's what we created. We created the plan, the book, standards, and pursue of it on a daily basis.
Okay, so you called it lifestyle medicine. Say it
Like
again.
athletic lifestyle medicine.
Athletic lifestyle medicine. Okay, which I'm still going to refer to as the Happy Body Program because
No,
that's the
this is
title.
the
That's
happy body. Yeah, the happy body colon athletic lifestyle medicine, right? There is the
I
happy
see.
body, definitely. Definitely
Okay,
the, but I want to explain when I want to explain what is the happy body. It's really hard to explain. So I use that metaphor.
I understand. Now, how does it work? Someone that wants to go through the program, is getting the book enough? Is everything they need in the book?
Yes, for some people it is enough, and it is a textbook. So everything is in numbers. Everything is showed by how to do it. So the whole plan is in the book. You get the book, and you're able to create that for yourself independently. Well, the difficulty is that people, about 5-10% will be people like that. And they are. People who send us thank you notes, emails after 4 or 5 years of doing the Happy Body. They bought the book, never really talked to us at all. And they write how the lifestyle changed, how they change and evolve. And they are very thankful. So these are the people, but there are also people, more people, is that they have difficulties to engage, to learn from the book, to create a lifestyle. And for that, we did the videos and I coach classes. And now I decided that January 5th, I'm going to start doing the Happy Body and let people to drop in into what I do to develop these habits or even learn the forms, or when they are bored or whatever it is, they can always drop. They can use the subscription or just drop in. I will be doing this every day, 9 a.m. Pacific time, every day. So, I tell people that if you want to have a certain way of living, you have to do it every day. Every day you have to be, that has to be your lifestyle. So I'm going to do that, and we'll see how it goes.
Interesting timing as we're approaching the new year. This might be the hard choices, easy life option for someone right now to do it right this year, to
Yes,
really do it right.
I know it's hard. Our choices are, taking energy, because anything good in life takes energy. So it's like if you want to create anything that has a value, it will take time, and it will take this 10% compound interest. If it's not, then we cannot evolve. And to help people to embrace that, it's magical. It's like when it's actually delivered, it's really amazing how people become independent. They love what they do and they don't need you. And that's what the happy body is. You really don't need me. And you can actually create that. And if you need me, I am there. Like 80% of people probably need help, and 10% will be able to do it, and 10% it will be very hard.
Mm.
These are the people that they have instant gratification, and it's very hard for them to do anything that is delayed gratification. So these people need a lot of more help, care, mentorship, like that.
Jerzy, give me a call to action for those that want to look into this more. Where should they go?
Well, they can go to thehappybody.com and they can read there a lot about what we do and how we do. And they can get the book through it, and they can watch the media, podcasts, and all the other videos, testimonials. And it's there, to look into it, to get the why and go on and do something valuable. But something valuable, just spend 2 3 years to get there and not really think about that you're going to get better in 2 months or 3 months. Although, when you start doing the happy body in 3 months, you will feel a little bit better. But it's a micro progression that eventually create an awesome body system that body becomes happy. And if you have pains, if you are depressed, if you are lonely, then you do the happy body and guarantee you will feel better. You will get better, and slowly, more better, and eventually you will go to a studio and dance, and or do Olympic weightlifting, whatever it is, but or surfing. But you'll pick up something because the happy body will take you out of the house. If you spend a little bit time, improve yourself, then you will start craving physical activity. You will crave to play with others, go to surfing or skiing, whatever it is that you are pickable or whatever. But
What is
you
it
will
for you?
actually do it.
It's got which one is it for you? It's got to be at least one of those: surfing, skiing, pickleball. What do you do for fun?
Well, I like Olympic weightlifting. First, so snatches are really fun on, especially balancing boards, and I like the surfing and
Yeah.
skiing. I didn't have opportunity to learn, but I have some clients that they want to teach me snowboarding. So I'm really excited about that. I love dance and
I
and
would start
and
out on the skis. I
well, the dance is interesting because if you are a man, you are the leader. So you have to remember the steps. You have to remember when to give the sign, when to turn. So really good for the brain. It's not like it can be challenging physically as well. So, and the speed and the movement and the music is fantastic.
As a thank you for tuning into the Dr. Haley Show podcast, I have a special coupon code that can be used throughout the month of December 2025. Get $10 off your purchase of $100 or more at HaleyNutrition.com. The coupon code is Charlie. That's CHARLIE. And as usual, you can even use this coupon with on sale and already discounted bundled items. Enjoy the rest of the show. I remember learning how to snowboard, and the first day my goal was to make it all the way down the hill one time without falling down. Now, on that first day, I probably fell down 200 or 300 times. I was sore. But I went back the next day, and all of a sudden it was like everything just clicked the next day.
Oh, well, that's good. What the happy body people say about next day is that they are not sore. They don't have any feelings of soreness after skiing, after coming back on a mountain, after some months of not doing the skiing. Their friends are sore, but the happy body people are not sore. Everything is like it's the flexibility, because once you do the skiing or something, you go into places where you stretch the muscle beyond, and then you pull it a little bit, and that's why you're sore. But if you are flexible, you're not sore because there is no reason for it in the body.
Not even falling down a couple hundred times.
Well, then you bruise yourself. That's a different soreness. When you hit something, you bruise yourself. But if you don't really bruise yourself, you shouldn't be sore at all.
Yeah.
If you
And
have a
so
good body system.
with snowboarding, it's funny because when you go to turn, if you don't know how to really commit to it, or sometimes even just going straight, you'll slip a little bit, and the edge of the board catches the snow. And you don't just fall down, but all of the speed that you have is transferred to accelerating towards the ground now. So you don't just fall down, you fall down hard. It's fun though. It's a good time.
Snowboarding is very interesting because it's the body responds to whatever and learns how to keep going without the fall, and eventually it does. It depends how fast it is. We talk about the brain and the speed. The faster the brain communicates with the body, the faster you will learn the snowboarding, no matter what. So that speed eventually, the body uses the speed and uses the learning system and can learn very fast snowboarding if the body is quick and is fast. I saw this with the balancing boards. When people are fast, they learn very quickly and stay, and the body learns. It's not the people who learn it; it's the body learns, because the movements of changes are faster than thinking process. So it's the body is doing it. It's not really that we do it.
You'll probably take it next level and do the snatch on the snowboard.
Yeah, well, that's what that's about. I love the snatches on the board. Have you seen? You've seen them, right?
Now, I'm wondering, when you're training in the gym and you're doing these things. Well, how old are you?
Oh, it's really funny with the age, because when you are young, then you don't want to say how old are you. But when you are old, you really definitely don't want to say how old are you, unless you are old and great like me. So now I'm proud I'm old. It's funny. I'm 71.
71. And I would imagine people must look at you in the gym and say, how does this guy do it?
Exactly. So they come all the time to me and ask, and I send them to the Happy Body Fest. I say, go first to that. Keep this for about 3-4 months and tell me how it was. So this is something that you check people's devotion, the commitment to it. When you give something to people and say, practice this for 3 months and talk to me after 3 months. Well, most of the people don't like it, because they kind of want the second day and third day, and not 3 months. But some people really love it, and the 3 months they come and say, "No, I practiced. This is it," and the communication can start. Coaching can begin, and coaching is interesting because it can be the change of skills and change of plans, like once in every 2 months, and it's pretty much really good enough to help athletes to evolve, and because they need to practice. The practice is the most important factor here. The plan is, if the plan is good.
Great, great. Well, any final words? You wish I asked something that maybe I left out?
I was on a podcast before, and I was asked about how to help people that they have this sluggishness and weakness, and they are 50 years old and they think that they are old and unwanted, depressed, and they will die soon, and so on. So what would be the help here? And so I said, that we need a goal, the big goal, not a small goal. We have too many small goals, and we are attracted to variety, or entertainment taught us to pick up variety, and variety is the killer of the quality. So the quality is really making us certain way. So I tell people, pick up a goal. I mean, goal that is for 5 years at least, 10 years, not a goal for losing 10 pounds or go to the gym in January. Now, pick up the goal. It can be any goal. It really doesn't matter. Really. So, our daughter went to university 3 years ago and said, "What are we going to do?" To my wife, I said, well, let's go and do PhD. So we both entered the PhD program, and we are already 4 years at Saybrook University. And it's a fantastic journey. It's a journey of constant hard choices, constant, the compound interest and understanding science. So these are the goals that I think that you are looking for as something that can help you to drive yourself toward evolve, progress, have the compound interest, and all of it because of the goal. One thing that I need to add that the goal shouldn't be attached to expectations and shouldn't be really progress too fast. My coach was saying to me that Olympics is a flicker over the horizon, it's not a fire. So it means that it will take 5 years or more, and maybe you will get there. So that is not important that you get there or not. And that expectation should be removed and you should progress. Find the goal for 5 years, then you will find the plans, you will find the habits, you will find the support to make it happen. It is not important to uh, really making it happen. So because it's a big goal. If you don't make it happen, that's okay too, because it's like Olympics. You want to go Olympics, but it doesn't mean that you go to Olympics. So expectations have to be removed, and you give yourself everything who you are to actually get there. But whether you get there or not, it really doesn't matter. But you will get the experiences of working on getting there, and that the value that eventually will be with you. And if goal is, let's say, Mount Everest, you want to climb Mount Everest, it will take 5 years or more to actually, getting there to Mount Everest. Well, if you want $1 billion, well, you give yourself 10 years, let's say, and your focus is $1 billion. And once you have that goal will drive you, will wake you up, will, send you to do things, send you to find mentors, send you to find plans and practice on daily basis to get there. And that is my message really to people. First, find your goal, huge goal.
What a pleasure. I appreciate you. What's the website again?
Thehappybody.com.
Is the YouTube channel also The Happy Body?
Yes, yeah, it is there.
Okay, another great place people
And
can
there is
go and
Facebook too,
subscribe.
the Happy Body Tribe and the Happy Body Facebook.
Fantastic. I'll make sure I have links to all of those locations in the show notes, beneath the
Fantastic.
video, on the podcast, everything. Jerzy, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for creating this possibility for passing some good information to them, and it is important. It's really important to find a way, the language to talk to people so they could embrace the hard choices and get better. And why not? Moving forward is a good thing.
I'm going to make some good, hard choices to start my 2026 and take it to the next level.
Fantastic.
God bless you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed that episode today on The Dr. Haley Show. Make sure to hit subscribe on whichever platform you are listening to this. If this episode made you think of someone, go ahead, take a screenshot, and share this exact episode with them. You can catch the show notes for this episode on www.drhaley.com. If you want to geek out with Dr. Michael Haley on other radical health topics, be sure to check out his YouTube channel, where he posts exclusive video content. All the details are at www.drhaley.com, and we can't wait to hang out with you on the next episode.